they said it was over. They said the Shield was dead and buried. But tonight, on Monday Night Raw, two brothers in arms ripped through that arena like a hurricane of pure destruction, and what you're about to witness will send shockwaves through the entire wrestling world. This isn't just another match. This is a declaration of war, *, the lights dim. The crowd is on their feet. Thousands of voices screaming as one. And then, that sound. That unmistakable sound that makes your heart pound and your blood run cold. The Shield's music hits, and the place absolutely erupts. But this isn't the full Shield. This is something different. Something dangerous. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the man who has held this industry in a chokehold for years, steps through that curtain. And right beside him, the man who walked away from everything, who became a legend in his own right across the world, Jon Moxley. The lunatic fringe. The purveyor of violence. Two men who once stood shoulder to shoulder with Seth Rollins, now united again for one purpose, to remind everyone why they were the most dominant force this business has ever seen. Look at the intensity in their eyes. Look at how they move down that ramp, slow, calculated, like predators stalking their prey. The crowd is deafening. You can feel the energy radiating through your screen right now. This is what wrestling is about. This is that raw, unfiltered emotion that makes you jump off your couch. Roman's jaw is clenched. Moxley's face is twisted into that sadistic grin we all know too well. They're not here to play games. They're not here to shake hands. They're here to hurt people. And before we go any further, I need you to do something for me. If you're feeling this energy, if your heart is racing right now, I need you to hit that subscribe button. SLAMZONE is your home for the most intense, most passionate wrestling breakdowns on YouTube, and we're just getting started. Drop a comment below telling me what you think is about to happen. Are we witnessing the rebirth of the most dangerous faction in history? Is Survivor Series about to become a bloodbath? Let me know. And smash that notification bell because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next on this channel. Now let's get back to this absolute chaos. Roman and Moxley slide into the ring, and you can see it in their opponents' faces. Pure fear. These men standing across from them thought they were walking into a standard tag match. They thought they could make a name for themselves by taking down two legends. But reality is hitting them like a freight train right now. The referee is trying to restore order, but there's no order here. There's only violence. The bell rings, and Moxley starts. He doesn't wait for his opponent to get ready. He doesn't pose for the crowd. He charges across that ring like a man possessed and just starts throwing wild, reckless strikes. Every punch lands with a sickening thud. You can hear the impact echoing through the arena. The crowd is losing their minds. Moxley backs his opponent into the corner, and the referee is trying to create separation, but Moxley doesn't care about rules. He never has. He grabs the back of his opponent's head and just drives knee after knee into his ribs. Brutal. Unforgiving. This is the Jon Moxley who made his name in the darkest corners of wrestling, the man who thrives in chaos. He drags his opponent to the center of the ring, Irish whip, no, reversal. The opponent trying to fight back, hits the ropes, but Moxley is waiting. He catches him with a massive clothesline that turns him inside out. The impact is sickening. The crowd roars. Moxley doesn't go for the cover. He doesn't want the win yet. He wants to inflict pain. He wants to send a message. He pulls his opponent up, and you can see the man's legs are already wobbling. Moxley looks over at Roman, gives him that nod, that silent communication that only brothers in arms can share, and tags in the tribal chief. Roman steps over those ropes, and the atmosphere changes. It gets heavier. More intense. This is the man who has defined an era. This is the man who has beaten everyone put in front of him, the head of the table. The opponent tries to crawl away, tries to reach his partner for the tag, but Roman grabs his ankle and drags him back to the center of the ring like he's nothing, like he's a toy. Roman lifts him up, and you know what's coming. He's setting up for something devastating. He hooks the arms, lifts, and drives him down with a thunderous powerbomb. The ring shakes. The crowd explodes. But Roman doesn't let go. He pulls him back up. Another powerbomb. And another. 3 consecutive power bombs, each one more devastating than the last. This is a statement. The opponent is broken in the middle of the ring. His partner is on the apron, screaming, begging for the tag, but it's too late. Roman stands over the fallen body, and he lets out that roar. That primal scream that reminds you why he's the apex predator of this industry. The crowd is chanting Shield. 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 Even after all these years, even after everything that's happened, the legacy of the Shield still lives in the hearts of these fans. Roman makes the tag back to Moxley, and now they're just toying with this man. This is surgical destruction. Moxley pulls him up, hooks him, and plants him with a devastating DDT. The head spikes into the mat, but still no cover. Moxley wants more. He's feeding off the energy of the crowd, feeding off the violence. He climbs to the second rope, takes a moment to look out at the sea of fans, and then launches himself with an elbow drop. Connection. The opponent's body convulses from the impact. Finally, the opponent's partner has seen enough. He rushes into the ring to try and break this up, but Roman is already there. He cuts him off with a Superman punch that lands so perfectly, it looks like something out of a movie. The partner crumples to the mat and rolls out of the ring. Now Roman and Moxley are alone with their prey. They both stand on opposite sides of the ring. The crowd knows what's coming. You can feel it building. This is the moment. Moxley signals to Roman. They're going to finish this their way. The Shield way. The opponent somehow, through sheer will and survival instinct, fights to his feet. He's stumbling, barely conscious, but he's standing. Moxley charges from one side, Roman from the other. Double impact. The opponent is sandwiched between them and collapses like a demolished building. The crowd is on their feet. The place is shaking. Moxley makes the cover. 1, 2, 3. It's over. But wait. They're not done. The music hits, but Roman and Moxley aren't celebrating. They're standing in the center of the ring, staring at the stage. The microphone is handed to Roman, and the crowd quiets down, desperate to hear what the tribal chief has to say. Roman raises the microphone slowly, deliberately, letting the anticipation build. Survivor Series. Roman's voice echoes through the arena, deep and commanding. We tried to do things the right way. We tried to show respect. But respect is earned, and nobody in that locker room has earned anything from us. So let me make this crystal clear. At Survivor Series, the Shield isn't coming to compete. We're coming to eliminate. We're coming to remind every single person in WWE why we ran this place for years, why we were unstoppable, why we were inevitable. Moxley grabs the microphone from Roman's hand, and his energy is completely different. Unhinged. Chaotic. You think you know violence? You think you've seen what I'm capable of? What we're capable of? Survivor Series is just the beginning. Everyone who stepped on the Shield, everyone who celebrated when we fell apart, everyone who thought they were safe, your time is up. We're taking back what's ours, and we don't care who we have to go through to do it. The crowd is hanging on every word. This isn't just wrestling. This is real emotion, real history, real brotherhood. These two men who conquered the world together, who then went separate ways and became legends in their own right, are now back together with a singular mission: destruction, domination, destiny. And if you're still watching right now, if you're as hyped as I am, I need you to show some love. Hit that like button, subscribe to SLAMZONE if you haven't already, and share this video with every wrestling fan you know. We're building something special here, a community of real fans who live for these moments. Your support means everything. Drop a comment and let me know, who do you think can stop Roman and Moxley at Survivor Series? Because right now, I honestly can't think of anyone. The camera cuts backstage, and you can see the entire locker room watching monitors, their faces showing concern, fear, and maybe even a hint of excitement. Because in wrestling, chaos creates opportunity, but it also creates victims. And right now, Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley are making it clear that anyone who steps in their path at Survivor Series will become a casualty. Cut back to the ring. Roman and Moxley are standing tall, arms raised in that iconic Shield pose. The music is thundering through the arena. The crowd is still chanting, and you can feel it. Something massive is coming. Survivor Series isn't just another pay-per-view anymore. It's become a countdown to the most dangerous collision in recent WWE history. Think about the journey these two men have been on. Roman Reigns, who was handpicked to be the face of WWE, who fought against the crowd's rejection, who transformed himself into the most dominant champion of this generation. The man who built an empire on the foundation of family and power. And Jon Moxley, who walked away from WWE when everyone thought he was crazy, who reinvented himself in front of the world, who proved that he didn't need the machine behind him to become one of the biggest stars in wrestling. Two different paths. Two different philosophies. But at their core, they're still brothers. They're still Shield. The implications of tonight are massive. Every team on the Survivor Series card just got put on notice. Every champion in WWE just felt a chill run down their spine. Because when Roman and Moxley decided to reunite, even temporarily, they didn't do it for nostalgia. They didn't do it for a cheap pop. They did it because they have unfinished business. They did it because they're tired of watching inferior talent pretend to be on their level. The weeks leading up to Survivor Series are going to be absolute must-see television. You know Roman is going to cut promos that make your skin crawl. You know Moxley is going to do something absolutely unhinged that breaks the internet. And together, they're going to create moments that you'll remember for the rest of your life. This is what wrestling is supposed to be. This is why we love this art form. Because when it's done right, when the stars align, when the story connects with the audience on a visceral level, there's nothing else like it in the world. Survivor Series has always been about survival, about teams coming together to prove superiority. But this year, it's personal. This year, it's about two men who helped build the modern WWE stepping back into the war zone to reclaim their throne. And make no mistake, that's exactly what they're doing. They're not asking for permission. They're not playing politics. They're taking what they believe is rightfully theirs through force, through skill, through that undeniable chemistry that only comes from years of shared struggle. As we close out this breakdown, I want you to understand something. What we witnessed tonight on Raw wasn't just a match. It was a warning shot. It was Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley reminding everyone in WWE and everyone watching around the world that when they stand together, they're unstoppable. The Shield's legacy isn't in the past. It's being rewritten right now, in real time, and we get to witness it unfold. So here's what I need from you before you go. Subscribe to SLAMZONE. Join this incredible family we're building. Hit that like button to show the algorithm that wrestling content matters. Share this video with someone who loves wrestling as much as you do. And most importantly, let me know in the comments what you think happens at Survivor Series. Who can stand against Roman and Moxley? What's your prediction for how this story ends? because that's what makes this community special. We're all in this together. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of SLAMZONE. This is just the beginning. Survivor Series is around the corner, and when that bell rings, when Roman and Moxley step into that match, the entire wrestling world is going to stop and pay attention. Because legends aren't born, they're forged in moments like these. And tonight, we just witnessed the forging begin. This is SLAMZONE. I'll see you in the next one.